Hi guys, Eric with Rocket H, and this morning we are going to cut up a Lonestar DCP truck. They don't make a Daycab version of that yet, I think, so we're going to make one this morning. And I got some cool things that I've learned about it when I took it apart last night, so we're going to get on that. So let's go to the shop here and we'll take a look and see what we got cooking. The Lonestar is just something I've always wanted to work on, and this project came about because there's a fellow needed something from me, I needed something from him, and so we have a collaboration, and here we're working. So that's kind of cool. Now my workbench is messier than heck, and I hate working on a messy area like this. But since I'm in my temporary lab, it is what it is, right? So let me flip this camera. Well, actually here, I'll just show you some things right here. This is the Lonestar cab that we're going to cut up this morning. Now I took it apart in a different video. You can see the disassembly video. These are pretty cool. And right here across this line, right behind that is where I'm going to cut all the way around. You can see that nice beautiful line there. That's where I'm going to cut. And then I'm also going to cut right between that crease at the top of the cab and this part here. So I'm going to cut there as well. And we're going to make a mess of this thing. It's going to be beautiful. And then for fun, I was looking at it earlier this morning. I'm going to cut out the back of the sleeper too and see if I can just move that forward and then JB weld it in. I don't know, just something a little different, give it a go. I don't know if it'll work, but you know, we don't know until we try, right? So this morning what I've done is I took this to my wire wheel, and I have just a wire wheel here on my drill press, and I love that because it turns at lower RPMs. Eventually I want to get a benchtop wire wheel with a grinder on it just to have it. You know, they're like 35 bucks if you get a knockoff brand, and that's my intention, because when you're doing model work, you don't need high dollar equipment. But anyway, so I love that. I like to just give them a polish. I don't know that it's necessary if you get all the paint off with a good paint remover, but that's what I like to do. And then also on this Lonestar, this was kind of cool too. I learned something new. This Lonestar, the fenders come off like on a DCP Peterbilt, which is really cool, because then you could take them off and paint them up different colors and then attach them, which is kind of neat. So I dig that. That's pretty cool. So I learned that after the fact, after I'd gotten all the paint off of it. I didn't see that seam there when all the paint was on it. Pretty cool. And I didn't see the pins on the inside of the hood either. So I think that's it for now. Let's get this thing turned around and cut up a cab. Now this is my bandsaw, and I've told you before, I've mentioned before in blog posts and different things that the bandsaw, this is just a wood cutting blade. This is a ripping, or just a rough cutting blade. You can see those are great big old teeth on here. This is not probably the absolute best tool for what I'm doing, because it makes a jagged cut and it won't be even. But then I have right here, I'll try and bend this around, this nifty disc sander. So it does make it nice that I can go ahead and clean up goofy edges and lines. Probably an extra step, but since I have these tools and they're fast, I feel like I'm saving time and I love using them. So do with that information what you like, but that is kind of the method to my madness presently. So without further ado, let's get this thing cut apart and see what we can make a mess out of it here. Let's just give this a go. Now, one other thing that I mentioned in the first video, I have never touched one of these Lonestars before. This is my first time ever messing with one, so you get to see me learn live on the internet. So normally I like to practice something before I go live and learn, but or do something like this, but well, I didn't do that. Here we go. So I'm going to cut out the back of this cab first. Actually, I think I'm going to cut here first and just get this thing apart and see what we got. Now I'm going to try and hold this so you can watch it cut. get a different plier here out so I can, here we go. There, I think you can see that. All right. Now you'll notice here I left quite a bit of scrap over here because that sander will make really short work of this, and you'll see what I mean in a bit. Oh, doggone it, I'm sorry. Yeah, I left quite a bit of scrap here. Like I said, that sander will make really short work of this. So that's going to be cool. All right. Now, wow, I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to give this a try. I'm going to cut this seam out right here, and I think I'm going to put the blade, doggone it, I think I'm going to put the blade right in here and then cut that out. So, let's see what happens. Again, left some scrap there at the top because I can sand that off and make it smooth. Now, I mentioned in the first video that if you don't want to go through all this trouble to make your Daycab Lonestar, the model mechanic, the model mechanic, DeMontague out of Texas, he has got a resin kit that, I mean, it's just well, doggone it, sorry about that. He's got a resin kit where all of this is done. All you have to do is take the original Lonestar cab off, put the paint up the resin one however you want, and then reassemble the parts and stick it back on that frame. So you do not have to do everything I'm doing to accomplish this task. So I just want to make that known. So for those of you kind of timid about doing these things, you still have an opportunity to get what you want. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to try and salvage the back of this cab and see if we can make this reuse this part of it. I don't know if this is going to work. Well, we're going to find out. Here we go. I'm just ciphering how I want to get this accomplished here. That's all I'm doing here, guys. Alright, I guess we'll just go with it. There we go, that's what I want. Now guys, do keep in mind, I mean, you saw me, this is kind of tricky stuff. I don't want anyone getting hurt, so make sure you're being safe and doing smart things. Last thing we want to do is get hurt building these models. That is not a good day. Okay, here we go. Something like that, maybe. Looks kind of wonky if you ask me. I don't think that's going to work. Probably should have. I'll bet I should have not done the way the way I did it. That didn't fit. I should have thought that through a little better. See, that's not gonna, whoops, that's not gonna work. Well, you actually go like that. That may not, that's not the best. Alright, well, we'll think on that while we're waiting. Now you're gonna feel some jiggling here. Oh, crud. Sorry about this, it's got to wiggle. My handy dandy holder deal, he just barked on me. Okay. You notice I got quite a pile of stuff there. I'll show you why that is. This morning I was busy grinding on these cabs here. These are all 9900 IHs. So I got a pile of stuff from smoothing up these cabs. These are all going to be mid-roof flat tops. I got 6 of those. Anyways, that's not why you're here though. Here we go. What I'm going to do is clean up these edges and get them down to this line right here. So I'm going to clean up this edge and then flush all this up, make it nice and gorgeous, and then I'm going to clean up the back lines here. Okay? And I want everything even and perfect, so when we go back together again, we have a nice looking day cab. Here we go. Okay guys, here we are. Woo. You'll notice I put my gloves on because it got hot. It got friggin' hot, holy cow. This is the top of the cab. Here's the top of the cab. It is beautiful. This is going to make an awesome spot to put a piece of styrene and start monkeying this thing together. It's going to be gorgeous. And then you'll see the lines on the back. Now I did grind clear back to that line. Whoops, here you go, sorry about that. Clear back to this line on both sides. And I think I'm going to stop here and get an evaluation from the guy I'm doing this for, because I'm not exactly sure what look he's going for. So I want to make sure I'm kind of meeting his specs on this, because I'm not familiar with Lonestar Daycabs at all. I don't really know where the back of that cab should be. So I want to make sure that I get this right for him. So I'm going to jump off here in a bit and show some video to him so he can see what we're doing. Hold on, I gotta get rid of the, there we go. So like I said, got to get some feedback on this project so I get it done the way he wants it done. So this is kind of new. This is cool. So I think that's it. Now, if you were wondering where I get my tools and stuff, okay, we're going to knock this out. If you're wondering where the tools that I'm using all come from, I bought a lot of mine at garage sales and stuff like that, just because like my bandsaw and stuff, an older man had. He hadn't used it hardly at all, and this made me a sweet deal on it, my drill press. If you go to my my website, www.rockinghfarmtoys.com, and you click on resources, inside there's an Amazon store, and everything that I use, from glues to hand tools to brass styrene, all that stuff is all right there. Hey Mark, I got a question for you. Hang on here, bud. All that stuff right there is in my Amazon store. I get a little commission on anything you buy there, so I'm grateful if you do shop at Amazon. And the nice thing about Amazon is you get their wonderful customer service. So now Mark, here you go, buddy. I need to know from you if that is a good, if that looks right at the back of the cab. Is this distance right here too much or too little? Let me know what you think on that. So I'll probably put the styrene on the inside of the die cast and then JB weld it in, and then do the cab top afterward, and then JB weld the snot out of it and go with it. So leave me a comment or PM me, Mark, and that'll be great. So for the rest of you, thanks for watching on this Saturday morning. Hope you have a great day and a nice weekend. As always, thank you for watching and giving attention to Rockin' H. We'll catch you later, guys. Bye.